Hi everyone, for our video today, we're going to be talking about some products from Lisa Eldridge. So if you have been a fan of Lisa, you would have known that she released new products a few weeks ago. And namely, it's actually her Kitten Lash Mascara, which comes in this very beautiful gold packaging, and her Kitten Flick liquid eyeliner, which comes in this very elegant black packaging. Now, the other thing that I also purchased was actually her Vega eyeshadow palette. Now, this one I believe has been largely out of stock for the past few months, and I'm so glad that they actually got back into production, especially around the time that she released her mascara and her liquid eyeliner, because I believe that this palette will work very well in complementing these two products. And also, I have been in the hunt for cool toned eyeshadow palettes, and this is just absolutely perfect. Well, we have one here that's actually warm tone, which I truly appreciate, because on a personal level, I actually don't like wearing these very cool toned neutral eyeshadows, because they don't work for my skin tone, because after all, my skin has olive undertones in it, and warm toned eyeshadows work well because they just really pop on my skin. But anywho, so before we continue, I have actually been trying to make this video the entire day, and there was just way too much distraction. My neighbor is actually renovating her house, and I thought it was going to be a quiet day, but as soon as I started vlogging, they started to become very, very noisy. And also, one other thing, when I was just starting to do the video, I found out that the label behind the eyeshadow palette was actually inverted, so it took me quite a while to realize why the names were not matching when I was swatching the colors on my arm. So I just said to myself, okay, I'm gonna stop and just relax, just get rid of all the bad juju. I went to the gym, I worked out, and hopefully if I come home, even if it's a little bit later in the day, and if I have the energy, I would do this video. So if this video pushes through, then I'm having a good night. Okay, so anyway, before we continue talking about these three products from Lisa, for this order, I actually accidentally purchased the Liberty London pouch. Now, it actually was not my intention to order this, because I initially thought that this was going to be a gift with purchase, but when I actually got the news from DHL, her service provider, that I needed to pay custom taxes for my order from her, I was like, why is that? So because here in the Philippines, if your international orders go beyond 10,000 pesos, which is around 149 pounds, 150 pounds, that's the only time that you actually pay for custom taxes. So I decided to check the inventory, or the invoice for my order, and I found out that this was actually charged at full price. And looking back at the day that I was actually placing my order, I'm never gonna place an order again through my mobile phone, because the fonts are just gonna be smaller, and also I'm not gonna place any order when I am at work, because a lot of things can happen, especially when I'm being rushed. It's actually a very hard lesson for me, also a very expensive lesson, because aside from the fact that I paid full price for this, I also paid a hefty amount of custom taxes for me to get my order from Lisa. And truthfully, I already have this in my collection. I already have one, so it's really not essential for me to have another one. Although I love the packaging of this, I love the design, and it can actually fill a lot of products inside, but why do I need two when I already have one? And the price of this is actually quite expensive. Instead of buying a pouch, I could have bought maybe a I don't know, an extra foundation from her, or maybe a few lip products, or even the mist, because those would have been more useful to me. So yeah, so that's that was a very hard lesson for me to learn, and I'm really kicking myself, because I'm someone who always reads the fine print, who always double checks everything. But this order just I don't know what happened. Maybe I was just too excited, or I was just floating, because I was not sleeping properly for the past few weeks, because I was very busy with work. But yeah, so that's a lesson learned. Anyway, so before we try on the eye products, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a hint of BB cream, and I'm using this BB cream from VMV Hypoallergenics, and it's actually a very nice formula. It's actually very lightweight, and the reason why I'm using a BB cream is because it's already night, and I don't want to have anything very thick on my face right now because I'm just going to remove it anyway after I have done this video. And I'm just using this brush to spread it out. And I really love this BB cream from VMV Hypoallergenics because it has a green undertone to it, like an olive undertone, which works perfectly for me. And it's also going to bring down the redness that's on my skin because after all, I also shaved today for this video. Okay, so I'm quite happy with the coverage of this now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a hint of concealer in my under eye area. And I'm going to be using this Secret Camouflage in SC4 from Laura Mercier. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to apply a hint of this Secret Camouflage in my under eye area. It's always best that you create a nice even tone here. It just also helps to brighten the under eye area. And also what I'm going to do is that I'm going to apply a little bit of this Secret Camouflage in this part of my eye because I have a crease there, and this is usually the part of my eye that kind of changes my eye shape and even my eyeshadow shape. So I find that doing this and adding some concealer there just really helps in also keeping my eye shape alive, awake, and lifted. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set my under eye area with some loose powder. So I'm using the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder here, and I'm just pressing it into the Secret Camouflage, and I'm just blending it. Let me just set this part of my nose because I'm quite shiny there, here on my T-zone, and more here. Okay, so I'm gonna leave the rest of my face without powder because I want this very nice dewy look to come forth because it's already late in the evening and we just need a lot of reflectivity on our skin just to give life to it. Okay, so I'm just gonna scoot a little bit closer so that you guys can see everything because everything's gonna be on my eyes today. And the first product that we're going to be trying is her Kitten Flick Liquid Eyeliner. Now, I actually shot some B-rolls of this product under natural light, and I do have to say that the tip of this looks very, very fine, and I truly appreciate that because if you have eyelids like mine, wherein my crease almost hits my lashes, the tiniest nib here is the most useful, especially if you just want to add a light hint of eyeliner on your eyes. And also one other thing, I tried running the brush tip here on my arm, and I was actually quite surprised on how very smooth and very liquidy the product actually came out from the brush. So I'm actually looking forward to this. Now, according to the website, this Kitten Flick liquid eyeliner is 24-hour wear. It is budge proof and it is smudge proof. So that to me is music to my ears because as I've shown you guys earlier, my crease almost hits my lash line. So there's so much friction going on there, and that usually breaks down products very easily and very fast. For me, so I'm really glad about that. But one thing though that's not indicated here, it's not waterproof, so that's something that you should look out for. And if you have very oily eyelids, maybe an eye base should be a good idea to use in tandem with this. Okay, so let's try this now and see how well this will actually glide on my lash line. Okay, so I'm gonna start here in the middle first. I'm gonna stop talking. Okay, so I do have to say that the nib of this, the tip of the bristle, is actually amazing. So I'm going to apply the eyeliner now as close to my inner lash line as possible. Okay, so it's actually been a while since I've applied liquid eyeliner on my eyelids, and so far I'm actually liking how easy it was to actually apply the product on my lash line. It was actually very ticklish, so which means that the tip here is actually amazingly soft despite on how well it actually delivers very graphic lines. So if you're someone who likes wearing eyeliners in a graphic manner, this is actually a great eyeliner for you to have. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to add a tiny flick here at the outer corner. Hang on, let me lift the mirror just a little bit because you have to look straight into the mirror for this. And I'm just going to bring a little bit of that here. And I'm going to connect that into my upper lash. So my eyes are actually not great for graphic eyeliners because of my crease, but so far I'm actually liking on how easy it is to actually use this to create this. And also one other thing I do have to say, I can see that the finish of this eyeliner is a little bit glossy, and there's just light reflecting off of the product here, so that's affecting a little bit the the graphic nature of my eyeliner. But so far I'm kind of liking it. But I do love the color of this. Very nice black color. It's very easy to use, very easy to handle, and it's actually quite easy to layer them together. And I can actually see that when you add more product, it's not creating more texture, because there are some eyeliners in the market, like because of the way that they finish, it adds texture into it because they kind of act as like a film on top of your skin. But this one, so far, I am not seeing that. Very even pigmentation that is applied on my eyelid. I love the nib of this, the very pointy tip of this eyeliner, because it can really get into the hard to reach areas of your eye, and it can just really help you to become more detailed with your application. Okay, so I'm just correcting my flick a little bit here, and I'm also adding more intensity just so that we have a very nice graphic eyeliner look coming out. And I love that. Look at that. Because of the crease of my eye, my eyeliner is actually not straight. So, but if we look straight into the camera here, you guys can see that I'm actually quite happy on how this flick has actually turned out. Fantastic. Okay, so now it's time for us to try the mascara. Now, I also shot B-rolls of this under natural light earlier, and I do have to say that the wand of this looks actually amazing. There are a lot of small, bristles here that for sure will actually apply mascara quite nicely into the lashes. It actually kind of reminds me of the Lancome Lash Idol. But I think the Lancome Lash Idol doesn't have these very small spikes here at the front part of the applicator. And I can actually see that this mascara, this brush head is actually coating my lashes quite nicely with product. And the formula of this mascara is actually not thick. It's very thin, but it's actually doing the job of adding length into my eyelashes. Look at that. Now I know I am the wrong person to try out mascara because I already have very curly eyelashes, but I actually like the fact on how well and how easy it is to actually build this mascara. Now this mascara is not waterproof, which is actually great in my book because I actually don't like wearing waterproof mascaras because they are actually quite difficult to remove at the end of the day. So if you're someone who prefers this type of formula for a mascara, then this is for you. Look at that, very nice. It's like I'm wearing falsies already, and it's really extending the length of my eyelashes. That's actually great. Okay, so now I'm just going to dress this eye a little bit, and I'm going to be using her Vega eyeshadow palette, and I'm just going to add some definition. So I'm going to start off first by using maybe this very nice cool, warm toned brown. I know it looks quite neutral, but I just want to use this to add definition here on my crease. Now, one thing that I love about Lisa's eyeshadow products is that they're actually very easy to blend. They're also very easy to pick up, and because of the formulation of this, I don't really have to worry about fallout, because they actually keep the way that they hold on to each other. It's actually so amazing. And of course, I can also attest that to the makeup brush that I am using. It's not made of synthetic fibers, so it's not going to buff out and to flick out colors unnecessarily. And I like the way that you're actually able to build the color of Lisa's eyeshadows nicely on the eye, so the intensity that you actually want. Look at that. Look how this eye is already coming together. And mind you, I'm just only using one eyeshadow at the moment. Okay, so I'm just going to dress up this eye a little bit, and I'm going to use this very nice, shimmery color here, and this is in Supernova, so this is a luminous formula. So I'm just going to pick up a little bit of that with this brush, and I'm just going to gently tap that here into my mobile lid, just so that we have some drama there. So it's almost like a topper shade. But I'm liking how it's adding light into my mobile lid. And it's just working with the eyeliner and the mascara that I tried out earlier. It's actually quite nice. So let me get a little bit of this brown shade. And let me just add a little bit of that here in my lower lash line in the outer portion, because I think that will just give my eyes a nice shape, and it will just complement the eyeliner and the mascara. Okay, so now I'm going to try the mascara on my lower lashes. I'm just going to lift my mirror here, and I'm just going to brush it ever so lightly. Look at that nice volume, nice way of actually coating the lashes. It looks like a doll now. Look at that. Wow, so you can actually build this mascara. Look how thin the formula is. Because there's some mascara when it's very, very thick, and when you add it in your lower lash lines, it just looks very clumpy. With this, it doesn't. It looks like it's very thin, but you can actually see the volume here. So it's just like natural hair that's actually coming out from your lower lashes and not mascara at all. I love that. Fantastic. Okay, so now what I'm going to do on this eye, I'm just going to go and add some eyeshadow, and let's try to see how well, especially the eyeliner, will actually apply on top of powder products. And let's just see where this eye look is going to go. Right, so I'm going to start with this shade here. So this is a very neutral gray, eyeshadow. And while I'm doing this, I actually shot this under natural light earlier. And I'm going to show you the swatches on my arm. So I did swatch this earlier from left to right, this way, from left to right, top to bottom. Okay, so the first color that we have is the color French Gray, which is a velvet. And the next color that we have is Smoke and Mirrors. It is a seamless matte. And the next color that we have is Moon Swirl, which is a metallic. And the next color that we have here is Turbulence. Next is Supernova, which is a luminous, which has a lot of glitter here on my eye. And the next color is actually called Lamp Black, which is a matte black. So what an interesting palette that we have here. So perfect actually for smoky eye looks. Okay, anyway, so let's continue. So I'm adding this gray tone eyeshadow here into my socket line, as a transition shade of sorts. And as you guys can see, the reason why, as I said earlier, I really don't like neutral toned eyeshadows, especially when they're cool toned, because they don't really pop on my skin. They kind of disappear, so it doesn't give me anything. Especially with gray toned eyeshadows, no, it doesn't work for me. But for us today, I'm just going to use this as a transition shade, and just the first initial drop of color into my eyes. Okay, so now I'm going to pick up this nice blue toned eyeshadow here, and this is what I'm going to use to apply some intensity in the outer V portion of my eye. I'm going to build that. I'm going to try to connect that into my socket line, and then I'm going to add that into my crease area, and I'm just going to blend it. Ooh, I like that shade. Again, very easy to blend and very easy to build up. Let me just buff out the edges here, try to create a lift. And I'm just going to continue to blend that out some more. Okay, now I'm going to get this smudger brush. I'm going to be picking up the same eyeshadow color, and I'm just going to line that on my upper lash line. and I'm applying it as close to my lash line as possible, giving depth in that area. Okay, so with my blending brush, I'm going to pick up a little bit of this color, remove any excess at the back of my hand, and I'm just going to add that here into my crease and socket line, and I'm just like, blending that out and buffing it out. What a very nice color. I like that. Okay, I'm getting more of this blue shade here, and I'm just going to apply that here into my lower lash line area. And I'm just going to shift my eyes to the other side, and I'm going to drag the color into my socket line just to blend everything. And let me buff that out. I like that. It's a very nice neutral color, and it has like a very nice retro vibe to it that I actually like. I'm going to intensify this a little bit now, and I'm going to try and use the lamp black matte black eyeshadow from Lisa. I'm very excited for this. Also a little bit scared because I'm hoping that I'm not making a mistake, but for sure, as Lisa explained in her videos before, her eyeshadows are actually very easy to blend, and it's almost like mistake proof even. And true enough, it's actually very easy to blend out her eyeshadows, and they're also very easy to build up. Okay, so I'm gonna get this gray blue color and this lamp black color, tap out the excess, and I'm just going to try to blend out the edges. So I'm just building up the intensity and shape of my eye. So what I'm going to do is with this smudger brush, I'm going to pick up this gray blue color and this lamp black color, and removing the excess here at the back of my hand, I am now going to add some intensity on my lower lash line. I'm trying to build the correct shape for my eye just so that I have a nice lift going on. Love that. Very easy to use. And then I'm just going to continue to blend the colors well into my socket line area. So at least now we can see that there's a nice lift going on, and it's also looking to be quite extended. I love that. And quite remarkably, I have to say, I'm not seeing any, fallout in my upper cheeks, which is actually great. Okay, so I'm just going to clean out the edges now of this eyeshadow with whatever is left of the concealer here on the brush. Okay, and let me just set that again with some powder. So that just really helps to keep the concealer in place. And let me just get a tiny brush. Let me just come back. Okay, so I have now a very tiny brush here, and I'm just going to be picking up some of this color here and some of this lamp black, because this space here in my eye, especially here in my lower lash line, drives me a little bit nuts sometimes, because I have a crease there, and just the way that it folds in my skin, it reflects the light back, and it kind of disrupts the illusion of the eyeshadow that I have created. So I always try to create more opacity in that area, and I kind of like using small brushes for this because they just really help me to really get into that space of my eyes. Okay, now I'm going to add some eyeliner, and I'm going to start as thin as possible, but now I'm going to keep quiet because it's a little bit difficult to apply eyeliner while speaking. Okay, so now that I got the hang of how I could use this liquid eyeliner, I'm actually liking on how easy it is to actually apply and to build, and especially in just the way that the pressure that you exert can really help in how thin or how thick your graphic eyeliner is going to appear on your eye, and I kind of like it. Look at that, very nice, very precise. I absolutely adore it. Okay, so just to finish this eye, I'm going to pick up this very nice glittery color now with my finger, and I'm just going to tap it here onto my mobile lid. Now, as you guys have noticed, I didn't use any base eyeshadow color on my eyelid because I actually want the natural color of my skin to actually peek through the eyeshadow. Okay, I'm just tapping this color, and actually quite nice, and it works very well with this eye look. And of course, to complete this eye, let's put on some mascara. I actually love the wand of this. It hugs your lashes quite nicely, and it also enables you to actually, like, get very close to the base of your lashes as possible, and I love that. Okay, so I don't know if it was just the way that I held the wand, but on this lash, you guys can see on how long it actually appeared, but on the other eye, like, the volume is more even, and it appears that my lashes almost look like I have false eyelashes on. Like, the volume is actually, like, added, but it hasn't, like, really clumped up my lashes together the way, like, this part of my eyelash did. But for this eye, I'm actually, like, holding the mascara like this, and I'm actually applying the mascara close to the base of my lashes using this part of the mascara, and maybe that's why it's giving my lashes amazing volume. So I have a spoolie here, and I'm just going to try to separate the mascara from my lashes because I actually want to run the mascara again over this eye just to see if, like, the way that I'm actually holding the mascara will actually change the way that my lashes would look. And let's hope that in me holding the mascara again in this manner, wherein the curve of the wand is, like, facing into my, like, base of my lashes. Yep. So it's actually working the same way and applying product the same way as it did on this eye. So this is, like, I think the way I would prefer to actually hold the wand of Lisa's mascara. Ooh. And I kind of like that too. Look at that. Much better. So I kind of love that this is the kind of effect that we are having right now. So let me add one more, like, layer here. Again, I'm holding the mascara like this, and I'm just wiggling the mascara well into the base of my eyelashes. Okay, and I have so much volume now. It's not clumping my eyelashes at all. Ooh. That's actually quite interesting. I like that. Okay, so I'm just going to add some mascara into my lower lashes. Amazing volume. Amazing volume. I'm actually liking how this mascara is applying volume in my lower lashes. Look at that. Quite amazing. Okay, so I'm going to intensify this eye look a little bit. So let me go get some eyeliner pencil. Okay, so I have here the Wayne Goss, the Essential Eye Call Pencil in Blue Sapphire. And this is just, like, a last minute addition into this eye look because I love the blue tones that's coming out of this eyeshadow. And I believe, like, this eyeliner can just, like, be very cohesive with this eye look. And it's just going to make my eye color, like, really pop. Okay, so let me add that here into my upper lashes. Fantastic. I love that. I love how this look came about today. I love this eyeshadow look. What do you guys think? Do you guys approve? Please let me know down in the comments box, okay? Okay, so I'm just going to fill in my brows just a little bit because I think my brows need to be filled in for the eye looks that we created today, and also with Lisa's products, just so that we can appreciate how well they look. Then I'm just going to use this eyebrow pen just to fill in the gaps. Alright, so my brows are now down and groomed, and they just bring everything together. They just frame this eye look very nicely, so I'm very happy with that. So I believe we're almost at the end of our vlog for today, and I thoroughly enjoyed getting to know these products from Lisa, her, like, mascara and her eyeliner, and even her Vega eyeshadow palette. Now, one thing I do have to say though is that with the mascara, I kind of like the fact that, like, it, like, really, like, introduced itself to me, because, like, I was very surprised on the effect that it like, you know, left on my lashes. And I initially thought that I was only going to end up with, like, you know, nice long lashes, very, like, you know, nice length. But actually, when I shifted the way I held the wand and the way I just, like, you know, apply the mascara on my lashes, like, you know, I actually, like, you know, ended up having this very nice, like, you know, voluminous eyelashes, very nice coating of the product, and just the way that it just added, like, you know, very nice dimension into my lashes. It looks very pretty. It's like I'm wearing falsies, but, you know, a very nice thin layer of falsies. So with this, you don't need to wear, like, you know, false eyelashes anymore, because, like, you know, they're adding this very nice definition. And one thing I also like about the mascara is that the formulation is not thick, and, like, you know, it's not clumping up my lashes. And, like, you know, it's actually not, because there's sometimes, like, you know, we're using way too much mascara, it affects the overall look of, like, you know, the eye story that you created on your eyes. So I'm actually glad that this mascara just, like, you know, works very well in complementing the eye look that you're creating. And, like, mind you, earlier, as you guys saw, I actually, like, you know, disturbed the initial layer of mascara that I added on, and, like, you know, I just tried to remove, like, you know, the product, albeit, like, you know, I had some trouble removing it, because I could actually feel the, like, you know, the strength of the coat of the mascara on my lashes. And, like, you know, as soon as I reapplied the mascara, I added another layer. I came out with this very nice, like, you know, voluminous and very nice, like, you know, layer of mascara on this eyelash. So I was very, very happy with that. Very, very happy. Now for this liquid eyeliner, I was so amazed on how easy it is to actually apply on the eyelid. And, like, you know, I think there's a slight hint of, like, you know, film forming on top of my, like, you know, eyelids, but I don't mind that. I'm just so happy to see that, like, you know, it's not crumpling, because sometimes when you have, like, you know, film forming ingredients in an eyeliner, they tend to clump up, and, like, you know, as you start to blink and, like, you know, move your eyes and your eyeballs, think that they start to crumble and they start to jump off. But I don't see that happening right now, and at this point I have been doing this vlog for almost 2 hours now, so it's holding up quite nicely, I do have to say. And again, I'm actually so happy on how I'm actually able to create this graphic eyeliner look for, like, you know, hooded eyes like mine. Like, you know, slightly hooded eyes because of my crease. Now for the Vega eyeshadow palette, it's a very amazing cool tone eyeshadow palette. I love the nice black color here, the very nice gray tones. This blue gray tone here is actually amazing. It, like, you know, created this very nice smoky eye look that I actually love. But I'm actually very grateful for this singular warm tone eyeshadow here, because this is the one that works very well with skin tones like mine. And I also love the way they you know, they just work very well together. But if there's one color that you have to be very careful with, it's actually this color here, and this is in the shade Supernova. So it's a luminous shade, so it has a lot of glitters on it, and, like, you know, it has a tendency of actually dropping into your upper cheeks, especially if you have eyelids like mine, which is, like, you know, deep set, and, like, you know, it just has a lot of friction going on. So I think you have to use an eye base in conjunction with this so that you don't have any fallout. Alright, so I believe we have come to the end of my vlog for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed me showing you how I got to know the latest products from Lisa, namely her Kitten Lash Mascara and her Kitten Flick Liquid Eyeliner, and of course her Vega eyeshadow palette. Okay, yeah, so if you have any more questions about how I use them all today, please let me know down in the comments box, and let's have a conversation about it, okay? Alright, so I'm gonna let you guys go now. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope that you're having a good day wherever you are. Bye!